Today's the day, the final ever Qantas 747 passenger flight. Behind me, they're setting up for the pre-flight function. The staff are being briefed. I'm in Canberra, and it's a sad day for the Queen of the Skies. News came through here this morning that British Airways is also retiring their 747 fleet. KLM has already done so as well, and Virgin Atlantic too. COVID has had a massive impact for all of us. Now, the 747 is a very, very special aircraft. It's been around for 51 years. 1969 saw the birth of the 747. Another massive event that year, obviously, man walked on the moon, and far less significant, it was also the year that I was born. Qantas have been flying this aircraft for 49 years, and at one stage in the 70s they had an all 747 fleet. So it is a very special aircraft. So it needs a special video and a special send-off. As a result, I have with me for expert advice and special technical comments, the one and only Paul Stewart.
Hi Dennis.
How are you, mate?
Good, how are you?
Good. What does this aircraft mean to you? Oh yeah, social distancing and everything.
Exactly. No. Well, look, I mean, it's an incredibly iconic aircraft, both for the aviation industry, the travel industry, and for Qantas. So I'm feeling incredibly fortunate to have been here, particularly to have even got tickets on this flight. They sold out in 10 minutes, and Victoria's in isolation, so I'm very honoured and feel very special to be on the very last flight ever.
Yeah. It's going to be an emotional day, I think, but it'll be a very special day. So join us and we'll do it together. Our first order of business today was to capture the Queen of the Skies as she came into land on a glorious winter's day. As you can see, the crowds were already lining the airport fence, and today's historic flight was getting a lot of attention. The lighting's a bit bright in here, so we'll see how it goes. I'm in the departure lounge, and on the way in to check in, each one of us were given a little bag of merchandise. So let's have a look what's in there. There's a flag. It's like the ultimate amenities kit, isn't it? Qantas 747 cap, and a little pouch with something in it. Let's have a look what's in there. Oh. Eye mask and a toothbrush. I'm not sure how much I'll be using that on this aircraft, but on this flight. But there we go. And apparently there's a little certificate on board for us as well. It's a good little setup here with some food and drink and various Qantas crew wandering around as well. So we'll go and see if we can have a chat to one of those. What does today mean to you?
Oh, it's very bittersweet. It's certainly the end of an era. I joined Qantas nearly 35 years ago and started on the 747s. Wonderful memories of the aircraft, wonderful memories of the people, of course, and the trips we used to go on. So, but all good things come to an end eventually, so it's great that we're getting the opportunity to give it a good send-off.
Yeah, but it's a send-off it deserves.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's more of a celebration today. We want to focus on that rather than the sad side of it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm here with, well, it looks like a massive Qantas fan.
I'm a big fan,
Yes.
and I'm an aeronautical engineer as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And what does today mean to you?
Look, it is an acknowledgement of my origins.
Yes.
Right. So when I was 12, I flew the Qantas 747-238B.
Yes.
In 1977, I was 12. My first trip out of Australia, and it blew my mind. And ever since then, I decided I would commit myself to travelling the world.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd come and say farewell to the aeroplane experience that helped me decide to become an aeronautical engineer.
Fantastic.
So it's an acknowledgement of my background.
Brilliant. And you're doing some videoing yourself?
I am.
Give your channel a plug.
Absolutely. I travel the world and I make comedy documentaries. I'm up to country 103.
This is a momentous occasion. My name is John Gissing, and very honoured to be representing Alan Joyce and the Group Management Committee of Qantas to be hosting the flight today. Welcome to you all. What a fantastic day. It's going to be pretty exciting, flying over Australia's capital in what is the Queen of the Skies, and hopefully we'll get a few pictures of the snow on the snowy mountains. I'm told there's crowds gathering around Lake Burley Griffin for photos, and there's literally hundreds and hundreds of people around the perimeter fence here to get what is going to be a very special bit of footage, the last takeoff with customers on board and the last landing for such an amazing aeroplane. So we think about the aircraft we're on today, OEJ. It's a fantastic aeroplane. It was Wonala dreaming, so if you remember that fantastic Indigenous mural we had, the livery on that aircraft, it's been repainted since. And it was also the aircraft that carried the boxing kangaroo, which you'll remember famously brought the athletes home from Rio in 2016. So it's a pretty special aeroplane. You are part of a very, very special club, an exclusive club, those that get to fly on the last passenger service of a Qantas Queen of the Skies. Please enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy your flight.
Thanks. Hello.
How you going?
Yeah, good yourself.
Take a flag.
Thank you.
All yours.
This is it. It could be, in fact, my last ever boarding of a 747. I hope not. I hope I do still get to fly one of these Queens of the Skies, but the opportunities are going to be rare and far between, so we'll just savour this moment.
Fantastic, lovely. Just down the second aisle on your right.
Thank you. How are you?
You make videos. I've seen your videos.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah.
DennisBunnik Travels.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard, sir. Enjoy your flight. Hey, oh, look at this. You.
Would you like a champagne or a sparkling water? Still very nice.
Oh yeah. Hello. Come in. Thank you. Thank you very much. There's the old premium economy. Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, good yourself. So we've boarded. We're not yet taking off, and I'm here with one of the crew on board, one of the very lucky crew on board today. Okay. How important's today for you?
Oh, it's so much, means so much to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I heard about this only on last Friday, I was so lucky. I was so happy.
And thank you for your attention. Have a great flight.
I was seated in 51K for this flight, the perfect window seat to see the pre-flight wing flex and flap test. The engineering of these wings is just incredible, with the 3-part slotted flap design massively increasing the surface area of the wing for takeoff and landing. As we taxi out, let's listen to Captain Martin Buttery give us our final briefing.
I say the flight is special, and that is because after almost 50 years of Boeing 747 service, this will be the very last Qantas jumbo flight with passengers on board. Next week, this aircraft, the last remaining 747 in the Qantas fleet, will be retired to the Mojave Desert. Although the 747 will be sorely missed, her departure makes way for a new generation of modern, long-range aircraft set to take us further and more efficiently in the future. This fine aircraft is known for her distinctive profile, and from the pilot's perspective, she is an absolute delight to fly. We're going to treat you to some of those delights in the flight we have for you this afternoon. From all of us today, we hope you enjoy this last flight on board the 747. It will certainly be my last flight ever at the controls, as I shall retire after this, along with several other members of your crew on board today and other members of the Qantas family. In the meantime, please sit back and relax and enjoy this special occasion.
We were soon flying up over the Snowy Mountain scheme, another engineering marvel and an important part of Australian history. I can't lie, it felt so good to be back up in the air in a proper wide-body aircraft. The 747 just feels so solid. Due to COVID, the middle seats were left unsold, which gave us all a bit of extra space. It was a very happy atmosphere on board as passengers and crew shared their 747 stories. This was definitely a celebration flight, and there were plenty of cameras around and lots of photos being taken. A Qantas film crew was on board to capture the memories. We were all given some memorabilia in the form of a certificate and coaster. We were also allowed to keep the safety card and the commemorative seatback covers. I'll cherish these as they are a great memory of the day. As this wasn't a long flight, catering economy was limited to the snack pack. Up next, we saw the snow and reached Mount Kosciuszko, the highest peak in Australia. It wouldn't be a proper Qantas flight review without a pyjama scene. Unfortunately, there's no PJs on this flight, and I am travelling in economy class, and we all know the golden rule. So here is a little bit of footage from my previous Qantas flights, and gotta love those in-flight pyjamas. So here they are, the big kangaroo on the front, and grey all the way down. Now remember, as soon as you've got your pyjamas on, you are confined to the business class cabin, because if you go wandering through the aircraft in premium economy or economy class with your business class pyjamas on, everybody's going to think you're a dickhead. So stay in the business class cabin where everybody's wearing these, so it's one big pyjama party for the next 15 and a half hours to Perth. As we started our descent towards Canberra, I again found myself in the perfect spot to see the incredible 747 wings in action. And then, as we flew low over the nation's capital, it was the perfect time to sit back, look out the window and reminisce about my own 747 memories. Because, like so many other people, this is the aircraft that made me fall in love with aviation. I still remember my very first 747 flight on a trip to America in 1985. Then, in 1987, as a young 17-year-old, a Qantas 747 took me to Europe for my gap year. It was also on board a 747 that I experienced business class and first class for the very first time. I also remember fondly when British Airways flew their 747s into Adelaide. For most of the 70s and 80s and even into the early 90s, if you flew into or out of Australia, the chances are that it was on a 747. You simply can't overstate the importance of this aircraft to the Australian travel and tourism industry. It opened our world and allowed us all to fly. And that's why it's been so important for us to be able to say this final goodbye.
Welcome back to our nation's capital, the beautiful city of Canberra. The time right now is 1:33 on Friday afternoon, the 17th of July in 2020. Now, as we say farewell to you and Brunella, our kangaroo, we know you are on board today because you have a close association to the Boeing 747 fleet, part of Qantas's history. We, as crew, are beyond proud to have operated on the Boeing 747 to a variety of destinations. But now is also the time that many of our crew will retire with her. 747, for the memories, let us salute you.
Cabin crew, disarm the doors and cross-check.
That was a wonderful flight.
Thank you. Thanks. Lovely having you on board.
Yeah, it must be special doing this last flight.
Yeah.
And what's next?
Back on to job pick. Yeah. I'm waiting for the international.
So,
really?
It's tough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. At the back of the aircraft here, finally, for the first time ever, get to see the crew rest area. It's up this little staircase, just waiting for somebody else to come down. So that's it, the final 747 flight. Thank you very much. That was really good. Brilliant.
Well, we had it said he was in the hangar.
Look at that. Isn't that magnificent? What followed next can only be described as an AvGeek's dream. We got to spend about half an hour on the tarmac, that's what we call it here in Australia, taking photos and video of this magnificent aircraft. For now, for special comments, we've got Paul. Paul, what are those things hanging off the wing?
Engines.
What do they do?
Move the plane.
And the love continues after the flight. Look at this. Fantastic. Yes, please. One of those looks fantastic. Just this one. Awesome. Yeah. I've put on enough COVID weight. Thank you. So, Paul, last thoughts on today's flight?
Look, I mean, the first thing is I just feel really privileged to have got on board this flight. There's many AvGeeks out there that weren't able to get on board because the tickets all sold out in 10 minutes, so I'm incredibly privileged. The other thing is what an amazing piece of engineering this aircraft is. First flew in 1969, which is ages ago. In fact, I think I heard that's the year of your birth.
It's like 22 years ago.
That was 27, I thought. But yeah. Sorry. I mean, the fact that such an amazing piece of engineering is still flying to this day, yet it was designed with pencils and pieces of paper such a long time ago, just goes to show what humans can do if they work together to do actually something positive. So I'm incredibly privileged to have flown today, and what an amazing piece of engineering.
So fast forward to the next day, and I'm back underneath the belly of a 747-400. This is in fact the very first one that was delivered to Qantas, and it's located at HARS, the Historical Aircraft Restoration Society Museum in Wollongong. Here you can get up very close and personal to the Queen of the Skies, and I'd highly recommend a visit. These are amazing, absolutely amazing aircraft. In addition to the 747, HARS boasts an incredible collection of aviation history, including plenty of Qantas history and the world's only flying super constellation. I definitely recommend a visit. This has been a very emotional couple of days. Yesterday, the flight out of Canberra, and today, this morning here at HARS in Wollongong. This is a farewell to the Queen of the Skies, and why this aircraft is so important, especially for all of us here in Australia flying long haul. Every one of these seats has a story. Every one of us has a story about the Queen of the Skies, the 747. You know, there would have been backpackers sitting in these seats, going for their first trip to Europe in their gap year. Kids going to Disneyland for the first time, people going on honeymoons. people travelling from conflict zones or disasters that Qantas helped repatriate people, people travelling for compassionate reasons, family reunions. And that's what makes this aircraft so special and why it's so important to say goodbye. And I just want to say thank you to everybody in the industry. And I know we're all going through a very tough time at the moment, but everybody in the industry that has made the 747 story, that's been part of that story, whether it be the engineers, the ground crew, the cockpit crew, everybody on the ground, the flight attendants, everybody that's helped over the years and been part of that story. Thank you. Thank you to the Queen of the Skies for the memories. You'll be sorely missed. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, as always, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment and check out my channel. Let's keep flying and let's keep travelling. Thank you.